never forget what we fought for 100 years with blood, sweat, broken bones.
This is Steve Zeltzer with WorkWeek. And this week, the President of the United States, Trump, has threatened to militarily attack Nigeria because he says that they're killing Christians in that country. And he's going to use the military might of the United States to stop the attack on Christians in Nigeria. And joining us is
Oladimeji Macaulay from Nigeria, from the Revolutionary Socialist Movement. I also work with the trade union, but I am more of a revolutionary organizer than the trade union organizing. We are working on a statement which we will publish as soon as possible. But let me just say that working class solution in the face of no to imperialist intervention, no to imperialist intervention. Working class solutions in the face of Donald Trump's threats. We are fighting for a working class solution because no to imperialist threats, yes to unity, dignity, and people's power. Since on 1st November, the crisis has happened there. The traditional and social media has been thrown into endless debates. Comments, so many comments in Nigeria. The Christians are making comments. The Muslims are making comments. The traditional worshippers are making comments. So many jokes about Trump declaration against Nigeria, about killing of Christians. Of course, there are killings in Nigeria. There are killings in the North Central, in the Northwest, in the Northeast. There are killings of Christians. There are killings of Muslims. Of course, there are also killings in the Southeast. Don't forget, Nigeria is a population of 230 million with 6 geopolitical zones and 36 states outside the FCT. Now, it's important to let it be sure that this is not the first time the United States of America has made attempts to come and intervene in the internal affairs of Nigeria. Of course, he said if the Tinubu government did not deal with the terrorists who are killing Christians, are terrorists killing Christians? Yes. Are terrorists killing human beings? Yes. Are terrorists killing Muslims? Yes. Since 2008 now, the crisis has escalated beyond what the ruling class can control. But what is basically responsible for this is the crisis of capitalism. The ruling class in Nigeria are so corrupt, they are so backward, they are so primitive, and they are very, very terrible group of people. There is no social amenities, no social infrastructure. The country remains deplorable. So that explains why Nigerians support foreign intervention. Some don't support, but larger percentage of Nigerians want foreign intervention. But we must be very clear about one thing. There is no place in the world that the United States has went to intervene that ever recovered. Afghanistan came to mind, Libya came to mind, Syria came to mind. So now it's a complete complex situation and we must be clear about it. What is happening? The issue of Christian persecution is just an opportunity for Trump again to find an endless war to sustain its economy, the American economy, which his foreign policy always represents. He has threatened Venezuela. They are trying to send marine to the coast of Caribbean countries to invade Venezuela so as to remove Maduro. But that will not be possible. Here in Nigeria, we are not sure of what is possible, but something is sure. There is a division within the populace about whether the Americans should come or not. But we are opposed to imperialist intervention. It is true that there are killings, both Muslim, both Christian, but the most targeted are Christians in most areas.
They're U.S. multinationals. What has been the history of U.S. economic intervention, imperialist intervention in Nigeria?
There are many companies in Nigeria, though the Trump administration also promised to break up with us, to stop aids to Nigeria. And in reality, that doesn't affect many Nigerians because even the aids that are coming to Nigeria are not, the aids that are coming to Nigeria are not getting to the ordinary people. We have so many U.S. companies in Nigeria. We have Deloitte, we have PwC, PricewaterhouseCoopers. So whatever the companies the US have in Nigeria, it doesn't directly means have any direct impact on the life of Nigerians. Because the billionaires do not help the poor. The JP Morgan is in Nigeria. Deloitte, all these companies are not solving any problem for ordinary people. They are here for profits. Many of them are even anti-union.
And the unions in Nigeria, are they under attack? Is labor under attack in Nigeria?
They are under attack by the multinationals. Just recently, Dangote, the richest man in Africa, attacked the oil and gas workers because they joined the union. Yes, unions were attacked. Unions were attacked before because workers were sacked because they want to join the union. He's just trying to build a refinery. He built a refinery with public resources support. And then he do not work workers to organize in the union.
Nigeria is one of the wealthiest countries in Africa, tremendous resources. But what you're saying is that the corruption of the government, that these resources are not going to the people, and the people are not benefiting from the wealth of Nigeria. Is that the case?
Yes, the ruling class in Nigeria are completely corrupt, and what we need is to build a working class alternative. The current moment triggered by President Trump's dramatic threats toward Nigeria could easily spiral into a top-down geopolitical confrontation or militarization, but it doesn't have to. A working class driving response offers an alternative, one rooted in solidarity, local agency, justice, and peace rather than force, because we need international solidarity to even confront the Trump imperialist intervention, because it's not going to solve any of our problem. Yes, Nigeria is a complex situation. There is a crisis of killings. It is clear that external military threats and geopolitical pressures and priorities of the interests of the working class, they tend to reflect state power, resources, interests, and alignment between elites. Like I told you, in Nigeria, elites may negotiate with Trump that if it is possible for him to come and flush out bandits, terrorists, yes, he can do that. He can do that. But we are not seeing any progress may be making in that regard. In that regard, we are not sure there will be any progress with Trump intervention. Citing experiences from the past, Libya, Afghanistan, Syria, Vietnam, we are not sure anything good will come from Venezuela. From the U.S. intervention.
What was the effect of the attack on Libya? What effect did that have in Africa?
As we speak, Libya is being governed by two governments. Since the killing of Gaddafi by the NATO force sponsored by the US and Sarkozy of France has shown that interventions does not necessarily going to solve problems. Because in 2000, and as we speak here, Syria is going through civil war. The weapons they used to fight Gaddafi were in the hands of the militaries, and they are using it to run a government. Tripoli and the other major city in Libya are under different governments. The Libya today have not recovered from the crisis created by NATO.
And that enclave labor, they had slave labor of blacks in Libya after the invasion?
Yes, the people who travel from other parts of Africa that want to enter Europe through Libya to enter Spain and to enter Europe, they have been a slave in Libya. Because of color, it's easy to identify a black man. But the Libyan people have a color of, they are Arabs. So they are oppressing Africans that want to cross to Europe.
And the United States saw Gaddafi as a threat. They wanted the oil in Libya.
Yeah, they want the oil, they want Gaddafi out. But what is the success today? Libya has become worse than it used to be.
And do you think that behind the threat of Trump to attack Nigeria is really because the United States wants to take control of the oil in Nigeria, the wealth of Nigeria?
I don't think so. I think it's more than that. I'm not sure they were even after regime change. I'm not sure they're after regime change.
And what's happening with the unions in Nigeria? Is there an opposition to privatization? Is there an opposition to corruption? Is there a workers' party in Nigeria against the capitalist parties?
The union leaders have not made any public statement about the Trump's statement, but the trade union remain what it is, a bourgeois trade union that's the interests of the workers are not majorly the priority. They are business trade unions. There are business trade unions, there are genuine labor leaders. Yes, there is a workers' party that is in the hand of the right-wing politician. In that party, the Labour Party, ordinary workers cannot contest in it. But we are working with the African Action Congress, the AAC, in order to build our union, in order to build our organizations and to build a working class alternative, while we campaign for a mass workers alternative.
And what is the role of the AFL-CIO in Nigeria, the Solidarity Center?
They have a solidarity center. Yeah, they train workers. They join the trade unions to organize activities to train the workers.
And the issue of a threat to attack Nigeria, do you think there should be a united front of workers throughout Africa against this threat to attack Nigeria?
Yes, I said it earlier that we need a united workers' front. We need international solidarity to appeal to workers all over the world to condemn the Trump's attack in Nigeria. But we must be clear that Trump is saying they are coming to deal with the terrorists. I'm not sure that's going to be a direct approach.
But didn't the United States support the terrorists? They wanted to bring all the fundamentalists together to fight the Russians in Afghanistan. Didn't the United States create terrorist movements among fundamentalist Muslims?
You are correct, but we don't know what it is in Nigerian situation. But we know that the terrorists in Nigeria, in Mali, in Kenya, in Togo, in Burkina Faso, in Niger, have foreign backing. Some of them are affiliated to the ICIC.
So they are being backed by foreign forces, these terrorists in Africa.
Yes, sure. If not, how do they get weapons? How do they get sophisticated guns to move from community to community, to kidnap, to rape, to destroy, and to kill? They have funders locally and internationally.
And there have been uprisings against the French as well, French colonies in Africa. What is happening with that?
Yes. The reality is that aside the British colonizing Africa, many countries in Africa, we still have the French colony. The French still, as we speak now, the French keep continuing to support Cameroonian Paul Biya, who is 93 years, just got elected violently some days ago. We have about 3 countries that have choose not to be under the French economy, French colonizer anymore: Burkina Faso, Niger Republic, and Mali. But something is very clear: the French won't give up. There will be more coups upon coups upon coups. But be that as it may, the country be run by the military that took over. Anti-French military that took over are not solving fundamental problems. Many of what we've seen and what we have heard of are just cosmetic projects. They are not practically affecting the life of ordinary people. They make radical slogans, radical speeches, but this has not translated to solving problem of the African people, of their country, of the interests of the masses of their country.
And what has been the role of China in Nigeria?
The role of China is also across Africa. China has warned the US not to attack Nigeria. China also give loans to Nigeria and many African countries like Zambia. China have so many companies in Nigeria. China have so many. The reality is that they remain a close collaborator of the regime. That is that about that. They have companies in Nigeria. They are close collaborators of the regime. They have no solution as well. But they are also trying to be an imperialist power, trying to give loans to African countries in order to divert them from the West.
And what are the conditions of workers at Chinese companies that China's invested in Nigeria?
Very terrible. Many of them don't get unions. Many of them are not allowed to unionize. It takes fighting effort before they can unionize.
So Chinese company in Nigeria, they don't want unions as well for the workers.
Yes. We have so many of them, but they don't allow you trade union.
What percentage of the Nigerian workers are in unions?
You mean the percentage to trade union in membership or in the country? There are over 3-4 millions. We have 2 labor centers, and there are about 5 million.
So 5 million workers are in unions.
Yes.
That's more than the United States percentage-wise. There are 13 million workers in unions in the United States. So there's a higher percentage of workers in Nigeria that are in unions than in the United States.
Nigeria is largely an informal sector economy. The informal sector are not yet organized, though they have a federation of informal workers that is not also organized. It's difficult to organize. So the Nigerian economy is basically informal economy.
So what can U.S. workers do to solidarize with Nigerian workers?
They can send us support. They can build international campaign. They can organize rallies, public programs like interview like this with union leaders, socialist organizations, mass campaign, mass protests, rallies, condemn Trump's attack in public statements, in public rally, in public speeches, and send us support financially in any way to stop Trump to invade Africa, invade Nigeria. There's nothing will come out from it.
Well, I want to thank you very much. We've been talking with Sadare, and he's a a political activist, socialist, and active in the labor movement. So thanks for joining us on WorkWeek.
Thank you.